So draw is complete. Time to break it down. Welcome Kent, Mark, and Ivan. So we're in Group A with Switzerland, New Zealand, and Norway. So to me, knowing who will be up against makes it real now. So I'll just start with my general initial reaction with this draw, and I think the team would I don't know, look at this and be confident of our chances. But now it's time to really, dial in and figure things out. And the mentality of this group since the Asian Cup has always been um one game at a time, or as Dom revealed, it's win the moment. And I think that they will have the same approach moving forward. And to me, really, there is a way out of this group. I know it's easier said than done, but now the next FIFA windows will be crucial as to what countries will play against. But definitely, to me, must be tougher opponents. I'll start with you, Ivan. Your initial reaction with the Philippines in Group A.
Yeah, I was very happy about what happened, considering that during the third pot, I was praying for Vietnam to get picked because they will be dragged down to the USA spot, which I was avoiding as much as possible. I mean, you can't really avoid it, but it happened, and yeah, it was good because once that happened, exactly on that very last draw for Vietnam, I just thought that maybe, just maybe, we could get Pate, and yeah, we got it. So I'm very happy about that, and I hope that no, I did seem to think that these are easier opponents, but they're not technically. So still plenty of steps ahead of us, but I'm just happy that we have a fighting chance to get to the next round in the next World Cup.
Thanks, Kent. Thanks, Ivan. Kent, your thoughts.
Well, it was just for me. It's either Group A or Group G, if I'm not mistaken. The group with Italy and Argentina. That was my preference. But not bad that we're in Group A. Was like most fans were uh rejoicing. Is that the term about us getting into Group A? Well, I could compare it to the Group B this upcoming World Cup. Like uh, because I follow a bit of US soccer, so it's like the opponents of the Filipinas in the group. When you put their rankings in the average, it's very high. Within the top 25. So it's no pushover. But at the same time, um, if we use the New Zealand match as sort of a little barometer on what can we expect from that group, there's a silent feeling of confidence that maybe we can get some good results. I know it's our first ever appearance in a World Cup. The jitters will be there, well, certainly, but knowing Coach Allen and the players who are just well drilled up as of the moment, when they're when they're in sync, they're just too fluid, unstoppable at times. I think this is the perfect draw for us. And I'm just looking forward to those matchups come next year.
Thank you, Kent. Mark, I know you have Norway on your wish list. Your thoughts?
Okay, so when I first saw the draw and I saw Vietnam be drawn with the US, and you'll see in the video, uh, I was a bit disappointed. I was really hoping that the Philippines would have played the US just for the experience factor and the history that, with a lot of the players on the Philippines, growing up in the States and learning their soccer in the US and idolizing the US women's national team. So I think there was initial disappointment, but obviously, getting into Group A was a good omen. It's the group of life, as people call it. But a lot of good teams in that group. Norway's, I think, ranked number 12, and New Zealand and Switzerland, I think, are 22 and 21 respectively. So still some tough teams, and now the work really starts for the team.
Right. Okay. So let's go deeper. Let's talk about strengths or what you think we should look out for or any insights at all. So our first match, July 21st, it's versus Switzerland. So two World Cup appearances. Best result is round of 16 and currently ranked 21st in the world. And most of their players play in Germany. Key players would be Bachmann from PSG, Leo Walti from Arsenal. I think Alicia Lehmann too, but I'm not sure if she played in the Euros. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure how technically different Switzerland is compared to New Zealand, but they got, some of the strongest players or, playing in the best teams in the world. So the maturity and ability is there competitively. It's a great matchup. Ivan, your thoughts versus Switzerland?
The first game is a must-win game. Switzerland is very tough opponent. We know how good they are, and obviously they qualified their way to the World Cup. So it's very hard to qualify by Europe. So I think it's gonna be a lot of World Cup jitters for everyone, especially at the start, because all the pressure will just soak up, especially in the coldest section of New Zealand, in the lowest portion, which is our first match. Expectation wise, I'm like not really thinking forward that much, but we do need to shore up our just at least strengthen all of our defensive positions and especially our central midfield, given what has happened in the last match after losing Savitsky through COVID. So we do need to add some depth on that because we did really struggle mightily on going to the final third, especially against Costa Rica. So that's all I can think of for now, because the first two matches are going to be important, and if we do want to go to the next round, both are must wins.
Correct. Mark, anything to add?
Yeah, so I expect Switzerland, like most European teams, to be big, physical, and good in the air. So we have to match their physicality. Right now, I would say that the team's strengths are definitely team defense. Our defense is definitely ahead of our offense, and so we need to, continue that. And when we do have chances, we need to capitalize on them. I think right now we're really struggling offensively to find the net and to find opportunities. So, but I agree with Ivan. I think that match will be definitely is going to have to set the tone for the whole tournament. We need to do well in it for sure.
All right, I agree. Can't you have anything to add versus Switzerland?
Well, Switzerland, they have, as per what you have said earlier, they have very experienced players playing in established leagues, and it will be crucial for us in the first match to do well, especially on defense.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's what I think you'll have a lot to say. Second match, July 26th, New Zealand. So for New Zealand, 26 World Cup appearances, currently 22nd in the world, and we've played against them in September. 2-1. Tama ba? 2-1. Okay, and then they played Japan the next month after, but they lost 2-0. And as I've checked earlier, they're playing South Korea twice for the next FIFA window. And having, played New Zealand recently, I think it gives us some familiarity, if you will. I think the overall feeling in the group as they knew they could have won that match. And I think New Zealand underestimated us in the beginning. But after getting one in, I think we saw the changes after halftime. Kent, your thoughts on versus New Zealand?
Well, we have played New Zealand a few months back, and I was satisfied. They were, for me, it's no, it's quite a blessing for us to play them because they're a side that we can say that well balanced and has competed with top squads around the world. And us losing 2-1, it isn't that bad. Um, as usual, they somewhat play like what Australia is, physical, very fluid. They have very experienced players there like Ali Riley, di ba? But I think the past result will give us confidence. Although we will play against a hostile home crowd, that's for sure. But the familiarity of like you didn't beat us like 4-0 or 5-0. That's already a good point that we can that the Filipinas can establish upon. And I'm just looking forward for all the home, the hostility and the big Filipino community going head to head in that stadium. Should be fun.
Right, right. And they've experienced that in Vietnam. So please, diba? Mark, your thoughts versus New Zealand.
So the one positive that we can go with is we played New Zealand already. Obviously, that was back in at Cal State Fullerton with like maybe 20 people. This time we're going to be playing in their home stadium with, like what Kent alluded to, a rabid fan base, probably very similar to what we faced in the SEA Games with Vietnam. Yeah, if we can control our emotions in that game, uh, we'll have a chance. I think. I mean, we'll be competitive at the most part. We know we know how they want to play. They're a physical team. They play very similar to Australia and I would say Canada to some degree. So again, another tough game. Just because of the elements, the crowd's going to be a factor for sure. And if our team can withstand that and keep their emotions and nerves in check, then we'll have a shot.
Right. Ivan, do you have anything to add?
Just wanted to echo what Coach Allen said yesterday in the post-draw interview. He did mention that this New Zealand core has been together for about a decade now. So that, and you add the familiarity of the home crowd and the same drive as well to produce at home, will really make we will face a totally different team in this match. So throw away everything we learned from the 2-1 defeat or that game against New Zealand. It's going to be totally different. And having been in a scenario as well, going up against 50,000 people on the stadium, it's very difficult. Every mistake, every small opportunity is magnified. So if you want to make a small mistake, you would hear that from like at least 20,000 people. So it builds on your chest, and you get to, sometimes you doubt yourself if you're not used to it. So it will be a really, really big test for us. And it's up to the team to prepare and how they would want to approach this match, because you come in, we didn't even talk about the haka yet and how that affects you in the pregame. So it will be a totally different atmosphere, separate, similar to what Mark said. And again, the character will come out from the ladies if they really want to get that win on that second group stage match.
Right. Thanks, Ivan. So, okay, third match, July 30th. My birthday, by the way. I'm just laying it out. Norway. So toughest in the group. Former World Cup champs. They've been in a World Cup 9 times, currently 12th in the world, and they've got some of the best players that I love personally. Caro, Ingrid, Uro, just a world-class team. But what an opportunity it is for our players to be playing against the best in the world. And they even have Ada. So tactically very astute, very difficult to break down, efficient on the counters. We've seen it. Mark, what's
Very
your take
tall.
on this? They're very tall too. Mark, what do you think?
A very tough game, as you said. I think we might have to approach that match very similar to how we approached the Australia match in the AFC. It'll have to be a total team defense and find those opportunities to counter. As you said, they're very physical, very strong, very tall, very technically, gifted. A lot of experience playing in professional leagues. So that'll be an extreme challenge, but the opportunity to play a team like that is invaluable. So we just got to do our best and hope for the best in that game.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for, that there will be no thrashing or anything like that. Get your thoughts versus Norway.
Gotta be the player's dream to face one of the best in the world. You know, ano Norway. Well, the list goes on and on. You have Ada, Hegerberg there. You have Caroline Hansen and other quality players. For sure, well, one player we know, Sarah Egesvik is looking forward to it. But for sure. So but it will be a perfect like cup. It's a perfect final match for the group stage. I like how well structured our fixtures are. Like it leads to the final fixture, which is an elite side in Norway. So we have the Switzerland and New Zealand match to take care of, more important matches. Um hopefully I hope and pray that we take care of of our business before facing Norway. But imagine Halilong, Jess Coward trying to mark Ada. Yeah, like, I know they're probably dreaming of it after the draw, but uh they will be Norway will look to push hard, score goals. It will be a perfect challenge. As per Coach Allen, what he emphasized during the press con yesterday, he wanted uh, us to be drawn with either the US,
US.
Germany, Netherlands,
Look
and
at Mark
this is
reacting.
but this is the closest that we have to those powerhouse nations. So I'm sure Coach Allen will motivate the players to do their best, because you don't know when will be the next time you'll be able to play Norway again, in a big competition. So for sure, it I expect the like how we faced Australia in the Women's Asian Cup earlier this year. I expect that approach. Hopefully, we'll be more fluid on the counter, because we won't get much chances against Norway. So if we get those chances, hope we can get the most out of it, and show gain some respect from a very good Norwegian squad.
Thanks, Ken. Ivan.
Well, pretty much echoing what the two gentlemen said. There is a lot really when you play against this very top side. So, like what Kent said, hopefully we do everything before that match already. But if we, whatever happens, I think we should enjoy and experience the best that our group has to offer, and it's something that it will be a great learning experience for the fans, for everyone watching, to see that the very high quality of football that we're gonna go up against. And these things, they don't come regularly, because you can never really get them to invite them on friendlies at all, because that's not their objective, really, not to play the bottom part of the group. So yeah, I think for a personal level, for the players, the staff, I think it would be a good matchup. So hopefully we get something from that match as well, just in case, because we are dreaming for that next round qualification.
All right. Thanks, Ivan. So we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves by talking about what happens after the group stage. So let's just stick to this one first, and maybe revisit after a few months. So let's jump into the social media questions. Let's start with a fun one from Bolivs. Can Ivan, Mark, and Ken give 3 fun facts, or any fun fact at all, about themselves? You want to start, Mark?
Okay, I'll start. All right. First fun fact. I'm originally from Davao City. I was born there, so that's a fun fact too. I'm a Manchester United fan, and so yesterday tying Chelsea the way we did, that was cool. And then 3, I'm an avid pickleball player. So I've been playing for about 4 years now and enjoy it.
Thanks, Mark. I didn't know you were born here. I thought you were born and raised there. Thanks for sharing that. Ken, fun fact.
Fun fact, first of all, I am an history enthusiast. So, I love history. It helps in sports as well. You never get bored watching vintage matches. So, and you like to research about things, how it affects now, like for the team, history, and other stuff. Second, lately I've been into the indie band scene. So I like music, especially indie bands. Ben knows this very well, attending gigs recently around the metro. And third, most of uh third, well, like Mark, I'm a Manchester United fan and I love Wayne Rooney. So yeah, watching Wayne Rooney when I was in my teen years, it helped me shape the my following of Manchester United. And a decade later, I'm still here through the good and the bad.
Thank you, Ken. So it looks like I'm the only non-Manchester United fan here. I
So just to go follow that trend. Um, like I don't know if the people really care, but yeah, I am a Manchester United fan. And going through what Ken, I also met Wayne Rooney in DC before, which is one highlight of my life. And third is I actually literally moved jobs so I could afford to go to the Women's World Cup next year. So yeah, pretty much I'm ready now. So I'm just ready to go. That's it. Thanks.
wow. Good for you. Okay, so from Inigo on Twitter, objective win-loss predictions for the Filipinas. Who wants to get at it?
Do we have to go that?
I'm
Mark,
afraid we're gonna jinx the results with that
yeah.
question.
Okay. Mark, do you want to answer that or does
Sure.
it... Oh, okay.
I don't know so much about win loss. I think for me, let's just be competitive. Let's be as ready as possible. Let's be at our peak performance, even, better than where we are now. So yeah, we're prepared. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we can win a game, that's fantastic.
Yes. Sure. Okay. The second question is best lineups or roster additions to exploit each opponent's weaknesses. Or maybe just best lineup or roster in general. Who wants to start? Mark, you have your mic on, so you may want to jump in. You know all these players. Well, almost all of them. So
I mean, in terms of who I think we'll start, I'm gonna go with I'll go with Live in Goal. Our center backs will be Haley and probably Coward. Left, Sophia. I'm gonna go with Eva at the right. Center mids, I'm gonna go with Sarah and Jackie. Outside wings, I'm gonna go with Kat and Quinley. And then up front, I'll go with, and this is all bearing if everyone's healthy and stuff. I'm gonna go with Sarina and Chandler.
all right. Ivan.
To compliment on that, really. I am looking at, we need to shore up our positions because anything can happen going to the World Cup. If you look at the men's version right now, a lot of players just dropping like flies. I mean, Kante, who would think that Kante would get injured? Because he never does get injured. So two things for me. Three things. I want Riley Bugay back in the team. Hopefully, there's some luck there. Maybe skip a little bit a semester of your degree, or maybe just a year, because we do need you in that flexibility. Angie Beard, if we the papers get sorted out, yeah, hope we get her. third is we need one more center back. Hopefully, there's some football luck from the football gods that we find ourselves one. We cannot function. Well, we can function with what we have right now, but getting one more center back would greatly help our cause. So that's it.
Ken.
Well, I would probably stick to the um I think the lineup that we had in the final of the AFF Women's, I think that's still our best lineup. Back for you have Liv on goal, then you have Cowart and Haley in center backs, then full backs Sophia and Eva. Though Eva is very versatile, but somewhat I prefer her on full back position so that we can provide an extra attacking threat if necessary. Then we have Jackie and Sarah in the middle of the midfield. Then we have Pindy, or maybe we can have though I'm a bit concerned with Captain Tanay's pace in if you put her on the wide midfield part. So I think that's it. Either Jess can handle it, or you can have Giyu on the other side as well. That's how versatile Kat Giyu is. Then you have Bolden and hopefully Chandler. Hopefully Chandler will be back. I think in the past Women's Asian Cup, Chandler was an integral part to our build up. Uh, she knows how to track back very well. She knows how to hold up the ball. Very good in link up play, opening and exploiting spaces for other attackers. Echoing Ivan's sentiments, we need center back. I mean, we're good defensively, but I think we're like one injury away from
Yes.
having a thin center back rotation. Then maybe a more another forward as well will help. It's midfield has not been an issue. I think yeah, Riley should come back, provide extra defensive cover. She's also integral if Coach Allen wants to go to a back five in case against the likes of Norway. But our midfield is like our strong point right now. We just need really a very another versatile forward to complement because well, Sarina can't do it alone. Kinley can do it alone. They play competitive football week in and week out, but it's the Women's World Cup. We need another, at least another one who can we can rely upon in scoring goals. We need more depth.
Gotcha. And his third question is ideal countries to have friendlies with to prep for Group A. Ivan, talagang sa'yo ko binato eh.
To me, it's more like if it depends on who we get. Basically, everyone playing for the World Cup, will start preparing already. Some of them already advanced; they already have everything scheduled. So at this point, does anyone really? If they do get European teams who will be joining from the other groups, it'd be great. But a bit of a long shot. But yeah, it is what it is. So whatever happens, we'll get it. So I couldn't name specific teams because it's very hard. But yeah, anyone available who could play would be great for us.
Yep, that's right. So I really reserve that question for you, Ivan. But generally, we really don't know who will be playing against in the coming FIFA windows. Just to answer your question, Inigo. Okay, so from Pinay Footballer on Twitter, ideal formation for each match. Would we see a back five? Would you opt for attacking or defensive midfield? Mark, your thoughts on this?
Oh wow. I think we have some flexibility to probably do a back five. Maybe that's something that we do against Norway because I think the Norway is the toughest team in our group. But I can definitely see us playing more defensive in probably most of the matches in the group. To be very honest, so we probably will have to have we'll probably have to add more depth for sure. And we'll have to be a little more flexible because we're obviously the underdog in this group, even though it is technically the easiest group in the World Cup. We're still technically the underdog. So I almost feel like we're gonna have to play defensive in most of these matches. So probably a back five wouldn't hurt. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think we're probably the wrong people to talk about this since we're not really with the team that often. But or at least I'm not. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to be very flexible, and we're gonna have to be, probably more defensive.
Yeah, we've been defensively sound, but yeah, to me, my take is we really have to we need reinforcements to build our what some fans would say the intramuros, if you will. Kent, your thoughts?
Well, back five, we're gonna see a back five, as per what Mark said, probably against Norway. But I won't be shocked if Coach Allen will stick with the four and then just either, well, Savitsky will be left behind to support the center backs. It's like, a lot of work will be needed by the wide midfielders because again, these opponents are very physical. They are very, they're very good when on the break. They'll be imposing, so we can't afford to commit too many players forward and then we lose possession and then chaos ensues on when they counter us. That's the last thing Coach Allen and the coaching staff wants to happen. We won't catch up with those opponents when it comes to making those mistakes. Probably Coach Allen is also thinking that we should also go toe to toe, not really go full defensive, but those in the defensive side of things will be well drilled on how to foil the attacks. But we should also have some offensive flow so that it won't be a one-sided match. It's gonna be tiring just defending for like 70, 80, 90 minutes. Eventually it doesn't really work in football most of the time unless some miracle happens. And I hope a miracle happens, but it's football. Sometimes it's gotta give. How matter how tough you defend, there's gonna be an unlucky moment. Yeah. So we gotta see a back five, but personally, I think it should be a uh, four-player backline with one player in front of the center back pairing, so that we can ensure that all threats, well, that uh, defensive midfielder can have a free role in trying to disrupt the attack or to regain possession.
Thanks, Kent. Do you have anything to add, Ivan?
Yeah, I think Allen already has started that within the team. I mean, making it defensively sound. And for the actual tactics itself, we saw that against Costa Rica. We just didn't have, they were just thrown off a bit with the preparation, but the transition from defensive to attacking was already seen there. So I think we should just build on what we did there, and because especially that Carly Friedis goal, that was that's what we want to do in the World Cup. So just build on that and try to bring that across to next year's tournament.
Thanks, Ivan. So, Pinay footballers' last question is: position or positions we need help the most, and why? Who would you like to be added on the roster? Ivan already said it. I personally wish Angie Beard would, finally sort her papers and play for us. At least, in the backlines. But that's one of my wish list, and I'd want to see Maya back on the mix as well. She's having a great season with the Hoyas right now, so really want to see her back with the team. Any other thoughts, guys? Who wants to start? Wala na, Ivan. Okay ka na sa roster. Ba't gano'n?
Well, Ken did say that we needed a forward or something else, but we will see. we will need. So I think there are things in the works, but we really don't know. So papers, those are very hard to
Yes.
fix as well. A lot of layers there that you need to peel off before you can actually
Correct.
use it. So yeah, let's just hope for the best.
And Riley too, by the way. Yeah, we need Riley back. It's been mentioned. Mark, you have anyone else in mind to to help
Yeah, I
us?
think definitely another experience forward would definitely help the roster. I definitely think we need more depth on the outside backs. I know you mentioned Beard. I wouldn't mind another right back also. You mentioned Maya. Maya, I think, would definitely help the team. She's 5'10". It's going to help against teams like Norway and Switzerland that have the tall players. So um, Kaya Hawkinson's also having a good season for Fullerton. So having her, you know, her physicality, her size would help in the midfield for sure. Realistically, we could use all the depth we can. I think we still have to go through that process of doing the research and doing the inquiries on players. I think it's still early. We still have it's October 23rd. We don't play in our first match of the World Cup is July 21st, if I'm not mistaken. So we have a lot of time left. So we have to really still continue to look for players. As I always say, we can't leave any stone unturned on this one. We have to go all out. We have to continue to look.
Anything to add, Ken?
Well, as much as I love the current lineup that we have, the current player pool that we have, it still needs a lot of work, really. I mean, it's a Women's World Cup. It's a very big tournament, the most prestigious tournament for women, aside from the Olympics. You know, all nations will go at guns a blazing there. So if we lose a key player, the question is the next player up will be able to deliver, we should not really close our doors to um players who are interested to play for us. I'm sure the possibility of playing in a Women's World Cup is very enticing. I mean, at the end of the day, who doesn't want to play there? I mean, if you're a Filipino heritage player, then who doesn't want? If you can sort out your papers in time, why not? It's just that we need one or two in defense and maybe one each in the um defense, midfield, and forward line. Really, I really see our forward line. I think they'll have a somewhat trickier task in New Zealand next year. I mean, they've never faced such high quality defenders by that time. So you really need someone who's left like Sarina, but more agile as well, can do hold the play and won't waste many chances. So just hope for the best, and I have full trust in the management that they are trying to do their best to get more players on board.
Right. So it's actually very similar to Sarah's question, if we need more stronger players, or should the team focus on the team's cohesion on the remaining months? You want to answer that, Ivan?
The more games we play, the better we'll get, and hopefully we could play against tougher opponents so that we could sort of practice that scenario.
Right. And just to add to that, Miguel Nery's question is, how many more friendlies should we play in preparation for the Women's World Cup? So I think we'll just go by the number of FIFA windows, right? I know Coach Allen said the goal is to play in every FIFA windows. I think we have 3 or 4. Is that right, Ivan? 3 or 4. 3 or 4, and then we
Yeah.
have SEA Games next year, right?
Yep, and also as well in SEA Games, you have to decide on what you really want to achieve there. So hopefully it works for everyone, because not everyone will be available for the SEA Games.
Exactly. Yes. So just so you know, to anyone watching, SEA Games is not within the FIFA window, right? So the clubs are not forced to release players. Okay, and last question will be from Filipinas number one. Tingin nyo makakaisa tayo? Ako, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Okay, so just to close, gosh, it's the World Cup, so anything can happen, and wait, just what an opportunity really comes around every 4 years. It's every fan, every player's dream to play or witness the World Cup, and the Filipinos will definitely be hungry for glory. I'm sure they will be 100% laser focused. I think that we have such a humble and grateful team. They look after each other. They've been welcoming to new players in every camp. Like I've mentioned, I think we're defensively sound, and I think that's one of our strengths, really. But overall, the women's football competition is, has evolved. It's incredibly competitive. We've seen that in CONCACAF, in the Euros, in the Asian Cup. So I'm just excited for what's to come in the next FIFA windows and see how much we can improve. So, gentlemen, your final thoughts or message. Just start with you, Ken.
Well, as per what I've said earlier this year, if you're gonna say that the Philippines will be in the Women's World Cup next year, you gotta be kidding me. But stranger things happen, and the magic of the beautiful game has brought the Philippines into the centerpiece event of women's football, and living in history. So we're very excited, but if we're excited now, what are we gonna feel on the day of the first match itself? It's like we're gonna be like the feeling of unlimited energy that we can provide a car with some energy to go ahead on the road. Coach Allen and the players, they have instilled confidence in the Filipino football fans. Like that's the overall sentiment of the draw yesterday. It's like it doesn't matter who we're gonna face. I know that the Filipinas will fight, no matter who the opponent is. And like Coach Allen is like, I want in his interview, like I'm expecting the US. The gaffer is really in for it. He wants it. He wants the best. He wants the very best. And I know that he's gonna require the best out of our players as well. And the players, they know the journeys and the hardships that they went through. Um, Coming into next year, they're one thing's for sure, they'll never gonna take it for granted. If it requires that they're gonna give more than 100% in every match, they will. So it's like whatever happens, to be honest, it will help that we'll have tempered expectations, because again, we're still gonna face tough opponents. We're the underdog here, as per what Mark said, and it's our first World Cup, so the jitters will be there. But I'm confident that in the fact, and I'll be comforted by the fact that whatever happens, whoever we face, I know the Filipinas will fight up to the final whistle, whatever it takes. So as fans, I hope that we also carry that sentiment that if the Filipinas fear no one, then we should fear no one. We should support them as well.
Thank you, Ken. Amen. Ivan.
Um, just enjoy the moment. I think we're the lowest ranked team in this competition, so no one is expecting really anything from us. So it's up for us, up for the ladies to challenge themselves and get something out of this experience. I mean, it's the it's basically the highlight of each player's career to be playing in the highest stage. Not everyone can play a UEFA Women's Champions League final, but more people can play on the World Cup, and this is their opportunity to represent their family, represent their friends, represent their country, and I hope that pressure is a bit lighter because there is really no pressure. But the goal is to to bring the game to the next level. And I hope that everyone, each player, each person on the staff, take that into heart, because this is it. This is the highest level we will ever be. So we give it our all or nothing else, right? So yeah, I hope that we give our 200% in everything and enjoy the moment and enjoy the football. That's what I want to share.
Thank you, Ivan. And lastly, Mark, go ahead.
Wow, Venice. This is so surreal. It hit me majorly yesterday when I was watching the draw and the Zoom call, and just the anticipation, the anxiety started kicking in. I can't believe it. I mean, was it 2012 when I was, LRO the program? I know Coach Ernie and Sir Philbert had the ideas that we want to, be part of the first Philippine women's national team to make the World Cup. I'll be honest, we hoped, of course, but I thought they were nuts. um, uh, but now we're here, and it's becoming real, and for the players, it's just enjoy the experience, as the two guys had alluded to. Enjoy the experience, because it doesn't happen very often, not for a Philippine team at least. So this is, who knows if we're going to come back here again. I mean, look how tough it was for us to get to this, and now to try to do it again, it'll be tough. So you're here now. Take advantage of the opportunity, but enjoy it. For the fans, support lang. Support, don't temper your expectations, as Ivan alluded to. Just be happy the team is there, supporting the country or representing the country, and yeah, I mean, it's a unbelievable story. That's all I gotta say. It's unbelievable. You couldn't have written no movie script of some sort. So I'm still, yeah, it's unbelievable. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Mark. And all right, we're finally here. More than a decade in the making. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Oh, time bound tayo ngayon, Ivan. 45 minutes lang, as I promised. And Mark also has to go to work kasi. That's why I limited
Yeah.
the questions. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you. Have a good day, Ivan. Have a good night, you too.
Thank you, Venice.
Enjoy. Bye.
Bye.